start off by removing the bumper. The common problem on the E46 M3 is the rear exhaust hangers, the mounting and the bolts seize over time. So as you can see here, these bolts have seized. Doesn't matter how much you penetrate them in. Doesn't matter how much you penetrate them in WD-40, they still ain't going to come off. The chances are they will round off. If you can get a good grip on them, the stud will shear off from the body. So the best way to do this is cut off the 13mm bolts that go here. So there's 3 of them. There's 2 on this side as well. And then what you do is use a reciprocating saw. And what you do is use a machine like this, with a demolition blade, and then cut the bolts off on the edge. So these are 13mm bolts. So as you can see, these bolts wouldn't have been coming off either. Look how seized they are. I sprayed WD-40 on them for 2-3 days and it still wouldn't shift. And with the space down here, you won't be able to get a spanner on there anyway. So as you can see, I've cut them off cleanly. These mounts have worn out, so I'm going to replace them. So the next thing to do is cut those 12mm bolts off. I might use a handsaw. So the next thing to do is grind them bolts off and take them off carefully. So rather than snapping them off, the best thing to do is cut them off. It may take a little bit more time, but at least it'll be sorted properly. So all these bolts are seized, so even that one, which looks it's in good condition, but if I apply too much pressure, what will happen is the stud will shear off from the actual chassis of the car. These are welded on. So like I said, I'm going to start cutting these off one by one. There's 6 of them. It will take a little bit of time, but it's better than snapping them and then having to weld another bolt on and drilling it through. So all I'm going to replace the exhaust mountings for this, which the old one has rusted away. So I've got a new kit here. So this is the exhaust. So the bolts, 30mm bolts go through here and over there. So this is the exhaust connection. I'm going to clean this up and then upon refitting I'm going to fit the new clamps that I've obtained from the internet. Well, this one has just moved, so what I did was cut it, grind it down with a grinder right to the edge as possible, not to go into the thread. And then what I did was use a junior hacksaw to fine cut it right to the close to the edge of the thread. And then what we can do is get a spanner. As you can see, it starts moving, and then plenty of WD-40 on there, and then just work it off. Just use the pliers now. Still going to be a bit tight, but as long as you put plenty of WD-40 on, it will come off. Now I've got to do the remaining 5 bolts. So this one took about 10 minutes, for 10-15 minutes. Well, here we have it, guys. All 6 nuts have come off. As you can see, I've grinded them, cut them off, and then just whacked them out with a chisel. So all the threads are in good nick. So I'm going to get some new mounts and then start fitting the new exhaust.